Welcome to this bonus episode of Timm Talk, the podcast about the DC animated universe co-created by Bruce Timm. I'm Chris Lord.
I'm Cameron Dexter.
And once again, we're doing something a little bit different this week. Because it was the holiday weekend, I actually had a friend in town. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. This is Alec. I came down to visit Chris.
That is the ghost that lives in my apartment, slamming the door. Alec, please continue.
I came down to visit Chris for reasons beyond my understanding. We decided that this was going to be the thing that was going to happen, and so here we go, rock and roll.
And you were, just to clarify for the fans, you are not a Batman aficionado.
Oh no, I am a total black sheep here.
Batman loves the color black, so
okay, good. So we have black to go with, but beyond that, I have not read the comic books. I've seen some, not all of the movies, but I basically kind of snuck in here, so you get to enjoy.
Well,
this.
it's fine. No one's perfect. Do you at least know the backstory of Batman? Like how he became Batman?
He's from Toronto, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, he's Canadian, and
Gotham, Canada.
He just Gotham, and he just wants to make everyone's life a little bit more pleasant, and so he goes around instilling politeness into the hearts of criminals.
The protector of Tim Hortons.
Yes.
It's just odd that he took his inspiration from a 5-year-old's Halloween costume. Why would he want to dress up like that?
Canadians are a lovely, heartwarming, slightly childish bunch. They love themselves some Halloween. They love some costumes, some Tim Hortons,
Yes.
some maple syrup.
I wish I knew more stereotypes.
Yeah, I
right
don't
now.
know. Do we have any Canadian listeners?
I don't know.
Well, we don't anymore. So it's fine. But yeah, since Alec is not really a Batman person, we figured we really couldn't talk about Batman. But
We could. We'd just make it really
it'd
awkward
be very
for him.
uncomfortable for all involved. But by
Not me, I rock
happenstance,
and roll.
by happenstance, we all went to go see a movie together last night. You've all seen the title of this episode, so you know what it is. But it also happens to be Cameron's favorite movie.
Of all time. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
There we go.
It is also the 30th anniversary of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
What day did it come out?
I want to say June 22nd, 1988.
For your sake, I hope you're right.
It's something around there.
Yes,
Because Disney, I've probably brought this up before, Disney is very punctual with their movie schedule. Every film either comes out on the third weekend of June or the third weekend of November.
And everybody listening, they know what you do, right? They know how that you're affiliated with Disney.
I
right?
mean, they get the rough idea. I don't think I've actually
Can we get the
specifically
actual
said.
idea? Because I think it adds a lot of depth to the story.
I do Disney's social media. I don't know if I've ever actually said that.
Probably not. But I mean, you.
But it's not just Disney's social media. You're also an animator. You draw these things. You got
Yeah.
into working with them because of something that you were doing on the side as a passion project, which caught the attention of Disney. Am I wrong?
No, you got it.
Okay.
I'm trying to be a little humble.
Yeah.
No.
We never talk about ourselves in this podcast. The only thing that our listeners know is that Cameron loves animation, and I'm real gay.
Yeah. Well, they didn't know.
They didn't
until-
know that for a long time until Cameron outed me on the podcast.
Yeah. It was really to cover my own tracks.
It was to cover his own tracks, but any listeners will know that I got a lot gayer since I came out on the podcast.
Yeah.
Well,
Started a second
thanks for
podcast.
taking the
I did. I started a
variation.
gay podcast.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for taking the variation from the Batman theme, but I feel like considering having gone to theaters to see Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is your favorite film, and you're the animator for it, that adds a lot more to this. I am leaning far back. Chris is reminding me that I need to
Yes.
speak into the mic. Toast.
Yes.
Toast.
So, because it is my favorite movie, I pushed and shoved my way into this episode by saying we're going to talk about the history of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Which I'm super excited about because for the first time ever, I didn't do anything to prepare for this podcast.
I had so much fun preparing for
Cameron,
this podcast.
I think Cameron spent more time preparing for this podcast than he has for all the cumulated podcasts beforehand.
Yes.
And this is like our
absolutely.
100th-something episode.
Yes,
So-
absolutely.
All right, then let's talk about what we're here to talk about.
Yes.
Who framed Roger
Batman.
Rabbit?
Who framed Batman?
I mean, Bruce Wayne Fugitive was a comic from
Yeah.
like what the late 90s, early 2000s, where Bruce Wayne was framed for murder.
wasn't there also a Nightwing series about that?
Where
Maybe not
Nightwing-
murder, but where he was wanted by the government, and then he
Uh,
became a government agent.
Yeah, because he was an agent of Spiral.
Yeah.
I haven't read any of that yet.
Neither have I. I just remember all the covers were the stereotypical female pose, but with him.
Well, I mean, Okay, so Alec, to explain.
Just say, I've seen Roger Rabbit. That's all I know how to talk about right now.
To explain, Nightwing, who is the grown-up personification of the original Robin, Dick Grayson. So the Robin that was in like the 1960s TV show and that was in Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
Dick to Nightwing. That's quite the metamorphosis.
Exactly. Well, yeah, so he became Nightwing. And Nightwing, having spent his entire life as a acrobat in a circus, is a well-toned gentleman.
Yes.
And he has the best butt in comics.
Officially ranked.
Officially
number one
ranked,
ass
like,
in
really?
comics. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the number one ass
There was
in
a poll
comics.
on this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
It's a great thing. Like, I follow an Instagram thread that always does, like, thank Grayson, it's Friday, and they just post, like, clips from
Pictures of his
comics
rear.
of, Dick Grayson's butt. Yes, he's got the best butt in comics.
Yes.
And there, listeners, your clue that Chris lives in West Hollywood.
Hello.
Which is great because I'm always the one that brings up Nightwing.
This is absolutely true. Yeah.
But is it his posterior?
Usually. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's his best asset. Hands down.
Okay, so Roger Rabbit.
Right.
I'm just gonna overload everyone with all the facts that I
Yes,
have.
please.
Yes. Well, let's before we get into the facts, let's just go with like general impressions. So,
Okay.
Alec,
Yeah, put your biggest guns forward here.
we'll start with you. When was the last time you saw Who Framed Roger Rabbit? What was it like seeing it again? Seeing it in theaters?
So I've never seen it in theaters. As far as we're recording it right now, the last time I saw the movie was last night, so it was probably like 18 hours ago. And the time before that, I would have been like 9 years old.
Okay.
So it's been a long time. It's been a long time being 28 years old now. There's obviously a lot of life that's happened in between it. However, not only seeing it at the theater, which was a spectacular venue.
At the El Capitan, great theater.
The El Capitan.
Don't go see Avengers Infinity War there, though.
It was fine.
No, it was terrible.
It was fine. We got to watch a kid cry.
So many kids, like adults.
Please
you
include
keep
that
talking,
for
you
like
keep
the YouTube section after this, but like, man, I would like to hear that story.
We'll tell that story
Let's tell the story.
after.
The film holds up. The film holds up. It was a fun film to watch. I actually really enjoyed being able to speak with you, Cameron, when we were walking back across, Hollywood last night. It was like, okay, why is this your favorite film? What about it holds up? And that's when I was learning from you that there were things like, we're never going to see all of those characters back together again because it required Steven Spielberg to be the liaison, to bring all of the different studios together to make that film happen. Whereas for me, I was enjoying it mostly because I got to see all of these characters from my childhood when you're living through cartoons and movies and TV and you're living in your imagination, coupled with the live action shots of it, and like Christopher Lloyd and
So good.
Bob Hoskins.
Hoskins.
I mean, last film I saw him in was The Long Good Friday, and now all of a sudden to see him with like cartoon characters, and all of it was fun the whole way through, and they're dealing with kind of adult themes more so. Like, I was speaking with Chris, I was like, I thought it was going to be more of like that child's movie that I thought it was going to be. Something maybe to bring up later. Like, it's not exactly a kid's movie.
Oh,
they
no,
deal
it's
with
definitely
adult
not.
themes. It held up well. It was a fun film to go watch, particularly with people who loved it as much as you guys, since it's been a couple decades since the last time I'd seen it.
No, I mean it's an amazing movie. Like I watched it a lot as a kid. It's probably been a few years since I've seen it last, but it's one of those movies I've seen so often that it resides in my brain. Like it doesn't matter how long it's been since I've seen it, I know it very well, and I absolutely love it. And it was a fun experience getting to see it on the big screen. Again, never having done that before. There are definitely a few small things I picked up more. It helps when you're watching it on a medium that has really good sounds. You pick up little things you didn't see before, and when the screen is massive, you can spot characters you hadn't seen before. But it's just...
Wait, you saw me like
Waltz
squirming
at
in
me.
my chair.
Yeah, I every once in a while I would just see like Cameron point at the screen to no one but himself, pointing out characters that were like showing up on screen, and it's so. I mean, at this point now, I actually get more excited to go see movies I already know and love in a movie theater than I do about seeing new ones in a lot of ways. Like, recently I went to go see On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which is amazing. I had to go see this. Alec and I, we've gone to see Casablanca before.
We saw
yeah.
Phantasm last year.
That's true. Yeah, we got to go see Phantasm at the New Bev. Like, it's fun to go see something that you already have a deep passion for and to see it for the first time on a movie screen. I mean, I'd seen Phantasm before when it came out on a movie screen, but it had been a long, long time. For me, these are all home video sort of experiences, which don't have the same power as seeing it in a cinema. It was amazing. It was so much fun.
So as we said a few times already, it's my favorite movie of all time. I watch it probably once a year or so. And what I love about the movie is every time I watch it, I see a new character, or I have some new knowledge in the new watch through that I like pick up on something that I missed.
Really?
Yeah.
So what was it the last 2 times? 'Cause you watched it twice this week in the theater. So what did you spot that you had not seen before?
Well, so when I watched it on Friday, it had never just clicked in my brain that all the characters on screen, minus a handful that I'll talk about in a minute, they only used characters that existed in 1947 when the movie came out, which I had completely I was so oblivious to that.
Well, it's not only characters that existed at that time, but it's the animation style of those characters at the time as well, right? Like they weren't using versions of Porky Pig from the 1970s. They were trying to stick as much as they could to stuff that existed back in the day.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's how I caught it, was in the scene with Mickey and Bugs. I was like, something is different about this Mickey. It's not classic Mickey. It's kind of so there's like 3 Mickeys. You have Steamboat, Classic, and Modern. And so it's kind of in between Steamboat and
Kind of
Classic.
like the 3 Jokers.
Yes, almost exactly like the 3 Jokers.
Yeah.
So kind of in between Steamboat. So kind of like as they were transitioning to color, Mickey was a little more mischievous and less kind of like kid heartwarming.
Okay.
Especially back in the 40s when Tex Avery was kind of the leading comedic voice in animation.
Okay.
The other Warner Brothers and Disney tried to copy that a little bit. Disney kind of held back a little more, but you could see that in the 1940s Mickey. And so I caught that, and I'm like, oh shit, all these characters existed in the 40s. Because I also always questioned why there weren't any Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
Oh.
Because that didn't exist until the 60s.
Yeah, that's a good point. On a few reevaluations, did you happen to catch any characters that should not have been there?
The biggest ones would be the Penguins.
Oh, right, of course. I mean,
Yeah,
that movie didn't
in
come out until 1961.
Which was
Mary
Mary
Poppins.
Poppins.
Yeah.
I enjoyed seeing them there. They did
Yeah.
make me chuckle being the waiters, but
So there was a great interview where Zemeckis answered the question of why they were in the movie.
Okay.
Because there were 2 instances of post 1947 things.
Okay.
So the Penguins are the biggest one, and he basically said, since this is a world where cartoons exist alongside humans, we also can assume that they weren't always famous cartoon characters. So the Penguins are there just because they haven't been discovered yet. That's why they're the waiters.
that's
that's actually
good
really
hilarious.
good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really good.
And then the second one, which I didn't know until I did the research last night, was the Goofy short they show in the movie theater scene. That didn't come out till 49.
Oh.
But Richard Williams, the lead animation director on the film, he said that was the best example of Goofy's kind of physical comedy.
Okay.
And so that was what they needed to kind of show what Roger looks up to.
But in the same way that we accept this is a world outside of our own reality where cartoons exist, we can accept the fact that maybe
They're real.
So we can accept the fact that in this world outside of Cameron's head, this is a world where the cartoons don't exist, and that maybe these things just happened earlier, for example. Because it wasn't, the thing is that in this world, it's not reliance upon an animator's thoughts and creation to make these things. These things already exist in the wild. To your point about the penguins. So
Yeah. So to make a reference really quick, there's a live action series Cartoon Network did in the late 2000s called Out of Jimmy's Head, which was kind of my dream situation. Not entirely, but it's a very weird setup where it's a kid who's touring what's basically their version of Disney Studios, goes to a restricted area and finds the frozen head of
Walt Disney?
Yeah, basically Walt Disney. As he's trying to escape, he
Oh my
hits his
God.
head and gets brain damage. and so they have to switch to keep him alive. They put Walt's brain in his head.
Oh my god.
And so when he wakes up, he sees all of the Disney character, but yeah, you know what I mean. All
Yeah.
of the Disney characters around him, like he sees them as real and interacts with them as real characters. And I'm like, yeah, that's how I see the world.
It's
As
not
if your brain had been swapped.
as if you've had brain damage and you've been replaced.
as if cartoons are real to me.
I mean, what a better world it would be
Wouldn't it?
were that true.
Mm-hmm.
How so though? Like in terms of like way that you can relate to people, like you relate who the people are and their personalities to certain characters that you've grown up with, or you make a caricature out of the people that you do meet. What does that mean? I've never heard anybody describe that before.
What, seeing the world as a cartoon?
Yeah.
Oh, just everything always works out. Everything is like there's always everything is always a 3-act structure. I mean, clearly this is middle school me.
So
I wish I could still have this.
you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I have not changed. Yeah. In middle school, I always like treated the world like a TV show, where like I would add suspense if there wasn't any suspense, completely unnecessarily. I would like if there was like a crush situation, I would treat the romance just like a cartoon, like just like a TV show character. I had some problems back then. They're
Yeah.
still being worked out now.
He
We'll
would
talk
just
about that off
he would just
air.
wolf whistle at attractive women that walked by. His heart would burst out of his stomach.
Mm-hmm.
It's very unpleasant.
So, diving into some fun facts. So, for the people who don't know, Roger Rabbit Who Framed Roger Rabbit is based off a book, which came out in 1981 called Who Censored Roger Rabbit, where it was a similar plot or a similar setup, but they changed a bunch about the movie. In the book, the only characters that remained were Roger, Jessica, Baby Herman, and
Eddie Valiant.
yes, Valiant.
Okay.
But instead of cartoon characters, it was comic strip characters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so the permanence part comes from whenever the comic strip characters would talk, they would talk in word bubbles, and the word bubbles would stay. They would just kind of float,
Oh,
just
interesting.
float out of
Yeah.
into space.
Have you read the book?
I have not.
Okay.
But I found out there's 2 sequels that the guy who wrote the book made 2 sequels to the movie. So I ordered them on Amazon last night.
Okay, wait, okay. So he wrote the book.
Yes.
The book wasn't successful, but the movie was.
Mm-hmm.
So to capitalize on that success, he wrote sequels to the movie.
Yes.
How'd they do?
Genius.
I think fine. The first,
Probably pretty well.
I mean,
Yeah.
they were very spaced out. So the movie was 88. The first book came out in like 96, I want to say.
Okay.
And it's called Who Plugged Roger Rabbit?
Oh my.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the second one didn't come out till 2013. And it was Who... So I have a lot of notes on this phone. Who Whacked Roger Rabbit?
Does he die in
that-
that?
I don't know. The
With a
synopsis...
smile on his face.
Yeah. Well, in the first book, he dies. So in
Really?
in Who Censored Roger Rabbit?
They actually have the character die.
Yeah. So instead of Arcane Maroon dying, sorry, not Arcane. Instead of Acme dying, Roger's the one that dies, and the only clue they have to go off of is the speech bubble. The last words he said
Oh.
are still lingering around him. So that's the only clues they have.
What were the last words he said?
I don't remember. I have not read the book.
But you read all this other shit.
About the movie. So, before the book even was published, the manuscript landed on the desk of Disney's president at the time, Ron Miller, who was super interested in the project and started animating it back in 1981.
Oh, wow.
So he worked on it for 2 years
Wow.
before it even came out, with very interesting voice casting. So for Roger Rabbit, it was initially going to be Paul Rubens
What?
from Pee Wee Herman.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Yeah.
Famous public masturbator Pee Wee Herman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Famous public master debater, Pee Wee Herman. He was the voice of Roger, and they actually have the first animation tests on YouTube.
No shit.
So watching them was so interesting, because Jessica is also like in the movie. They always they make
How
you
so?
question.
What makes them interesting to see the first animation test is because they have different
Well, it's just so
animators,
different.
so it's different drawings in terms of how the characters look.
Yeah, all the characters look different.
Okay.
So Roger still has the same basic look, but he looks more like I'm gonna say like a hillbilly Bugs Bunny is more of his look.
Okay.
Okay.
And Jessica is more human looking, less overly proportioned.
Is she more like the hot girl next door rather than the bombshell?
She's still a bombshell.
Okay.
Because the references were still there. So not initially, Jessica Rabbit is based off of. God, I have my notes in a very specific order, so I'm going to talk about that later. Yeah, so it started in 1981, and where was I going? It was shelved in '83 because Ron Miller left Disney.
Okay.
For the man who initially hated animation, Mr. Will Eisner, came in.
No shit.
Yeah, so Eisner wanted to shut down the animation department. I don't know if you knew that, but he came in to kind of save Black Cauldron and just kind of deal with the money issue. Disney was in a very deep hole.
You mean Bob Eisner, the eventual head of Disney, or Will Eisner, the...
Not Will Eisner. Sorry, that's the wrong.
Yeah, because Will Eisner is the the comics awards every year.
Yeah,
He was the
sorry.
creator of the Spirit. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bob Eisner.
Yes, I always
Okay.
refer to him as Eisner, so I never remember his first name.
It's Bob. Yeah, Bob Eisner.
Well,
Bob
no,
Eis-
because Bob Iger.
But
I think
it's
is who
also
you're
Bob
thinking of.
Eisner,
Sure.
isn't it?
I don't know. I should know this, but I don't.
Are you
You're making me
looking
feel
at
really
me?
bad.
Alec, be useful.
You're making me feel really bad that I don't remember this. I know it's Jeffrey Katzenberg. That's the name I do remember. So the movie was shelved in '83. Eisner came.
Sorry, it's Michael Eisner.
Michael Eisner. God damn it. Yeah, you're right. Yes, Michael Eisner and Jeffrey Katzenberg.
Okay. Wait, Michael Eisner hated animation?
He wanted to shut down the animation department of Disney,
Well, what a dumb idiot.
which is insane. Well, he was the one that thought of. I've probably talked about this before, but I find it super interesting. He was the one that came in with the mentality of you don't need home run movies for every movie. He famously coined the single and doubles movies. So keeping
Okay.
in the baseball terms, he wanted movies that
Or
were cheap.
fucked.
Yeah, they were cheap to make and just made enough money to, just made their money back and a little more. So
What were some of the... Like, did Disney actually make
a
singles?
bunch of these.
Like, what,
yeah.
what were these theatrically released?
Yes, they're all under Touchstone.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they created Touchstone as the live action arm of Disney for these kind of cheaper movies.
Okay.
So you have Angels in the Outfield, Angels.
Angels in the Outfield.
You have Three Men and a Baby, Good Morning Vietnam, anything with Robin Williams in
Pretty
the
much,
80s
yeah.
because they basically got him for cheap. They
Who made Hook? Was that a Touchstone?
that was but that was later. That was in the 90s.
Well, talk to me more about the Robin Williams stuff.
So he was in and out of rehab in the late 80s, and Disney would basically send an associate to the rehab center every day, waiting for him to leave, and they just had a contract.
Really?
Yeah, and so they got him on cheap because they got him as he was walking out the door of the rehab center.
And he said, "Sure, I'll take a contract, so that way I can say I'm working."
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was a situation. But yeah, there's not Rocketeer, but the one before Rocketeer, 1989, was the Last Starfighter. That one.
Oh, okay. Never seen it.
It's great. It's okay.
Isn't Jerry O'Connell in that?
That's a great question.
That none of us have the answer to.
But yeah, basically any movie, like any kids or family movie from like 86 to 90, they were all super cheap to make, and they were just made to get a little money in Disney's pocket because they were so in the hole after Black Cauldron.
I don't realize Black Cauldron was a huge flop.
Oh, it's still Disney's biggest. I mean, I think John Carter might have taken it, but animation-wise, it is the biggest animated flop of all time.
Really? Like, do you know like the budget versus box office on that one?
I don't.
God, some
I'm
research
sorry.
he did.
But I did see that Roger Rabbit was the most expensive movie at the time.
Okay.
Cost $70 million to make.
Okay.
So Eisner Katzenberg come in 1986.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell the Katzenberg story later. I've probably told it like 3 times already, but I love it.
Probably. I don't even remember.
He's the founder of DreamWorks.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay. So in 1986, they find this movie on the in the Disney Vault, and they like it, but they're not really sure of the potential. So they call up their good friend Steven Spielberg, who's be like, "Hey, can this movie make money?" And Spielberg says, "Absolutely."
Mm-hmm.
And so he lends his kind of wallet in hand with Amblin, and so now it is a Touchstone Amblin Pictures movie. And Spielberg basically says, if I'm giving you my money, I get full control over what's happening. And by me, I mean I have this protege named Zemeckis. What's his first name? Robert Zemeckis. Sorry.
Bob Zemeckis.
Bob Zemeckis. Will Zemeckis.
Bobby Z.
I have this protege named Zemeckis. He just got off this awesome movie called Back to the Future. He is getting full final cut rule for this movie, which is crazy.
That's insane. Yeah,
Yeah.
for a new director at that time.
Yeah. So he had final say, or he had the final word on the movie because Eisner wanted to cut Jessica completely. They thought she was way too adult for a kids' film.
Too sexualized.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think it's interesting. So,
And I don't really see that.
I would think that when they started pre-production on this, Back to the Future would have already been out, right?
They started this movie in 1986.
So, what I think is interesting about that is even in 1986, right after Back to the Future comes out, is a huge, huge hit, critically and commercially.
Mm-hmm.
They're still not willing to give Bob Zemeckis the benefit of the doubt.
Well, I don't think it's that. I think it's Disney was just so in the hole for money.
Oh, okay.
They didn't give anyone
They were
creative, full
extra
creative.
cautious.
Yeah.
'Cause I was gonna say, I mean, like that's the modern format now. Like, I mean, you get guys coming out with just critically successful, if not commercially successful, indie films who get handed massive franchises.
Taika
Waititi, or like a Colin Trevorrow. I'm like, and
Taika Waititi.
Those didn't do near the business of like Back to the Future. It was a huge, huge movie when it came out.
And also, I think the only reason they gave it to him was because Spielberg.
Well, yeah, I mean,
After I read this,
Spielberg.
you'll see how powerful Spielberg was in making this movie. Because it almost folded multiple times. It was vastly over budget.
Oh, how could it not be?
Yeah.
This must have been crazy expensive to make.
It was $70 million to make. It was the most expensive film of the time.
Shit.
It's roughly now $138 million now.
Okay.
Whoa.
What?
And the Black Cauldron was before that, and it had a budget. It came out in 1985. It had a budget of $44 million, but it earned domestically only $21.3 million. So it made less than half of its budget. And then Roger Rabbit comes out just a few years later
and triples the budget. I think it made $400 million global.
I mean,
wow.
It's kind of understandable. I mean, it's so easy to look at this now and say that it's groundbreaking, but I imagine, especially back in the day, there was nothing like this, right?
I have a few facts and a few quotes from Richard Williams, the animation director, who literally wrote the book on modern animation. Like, I am not joking.
I assume you've read this book.
Yes. If anyone who works in animation or is studying animation, at some point you will get the book, The Animator Survival Kit, written by Richard Williams.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And his quotes about making this movie are so funny because he's just like such a dick about older animators. So before this movie, whenever there was a live action animation pairing, there was a very strict rule from animators that the camera cannot move. It has to be completely stationary.
Right, yeah.
And so Zemeckis approached Williams and he's like, "Do we have to follow this?" And Williams is like, "No, absolutely not." And like, "Well, why does this rule exist in the first place?" He's like, "Because we're lazy and we don't want to have to move a person with a camera."
Yeah.
Because like now we have tracking software that'll kind of do all the hard work for us, but back then they had to physically draw the character moving and rotating with the camera movement.
And I think even at times you see a bit of that. Like there's some tracking shots with, I think of like the club scene with Jessica Rabbit when we first meet her, where the animation just seems a little, I don't know if choppy is the right word to use, but you can tell that like this is the character moving and the camera moving, and that's a new thing. And it's a little challenging.
Well, what's crazy is nowadays we have markers. So we have the tennis ball for dragons and Game of Thrones. We have things for character eyeline, for the animators to know where to put things. That didn't exist yet.
Did they have anything like that? I mean, what was Bob Hoskins talking to most of the way through making this?
So they sent Bob to a 4-month miming school.
Holy shit.
Which is
4
amazing.
months
Yeah.
miming.
That's a lot of time not talking.
Yeah.
And being French.
Everyone had to take a few miming classes, all the live action actors.
Yeah.
But they would do 3 takes. So they would do the clean camera movement, so no actors. That would be the last one. The first one would be the actors with stand-ins. So they had like a cutout of the right-sized Roger and Jessica. They actually had a character for Jessica. There was an actress that came in for her.
Okay.
There would be cardboard cutouts of all the characters, so the actors could get their eye lines right. Because that was the biggest rule to make this movie believable, was eye lines were key. There were 3 big rules. I'm going to go over them later. I'm going to do this like a class.
No, I love it. It just, we're listening
Yeah.
intently.
You should, because there is a quiz after this.
Oh, good. Thank God.
And I'm not joking. There's an actual quiz.
No, I know there is.
So they would do a take with the cutouts, and they would do a take of just the actors, and they would do a take of just the camera movement.
But I mean, how, and you're probably about to answer this, how was each take just a subsequent learning experience? Because unless the camera was computer controlled and the performances were completely identical, you couldn't interchange those cuts, right? So is it just like one cut was leading to the next one in terms of what was supposed to be the best?
Yeah, well, they would only send the blank, or they would only send the one with the actor to the animators.
Okay.
But they had to film. They didn't send it early, like I
Okay.
thought. Like I had assumed they would send the dailies over for them to start animating. No, there was no chance for reshoots in this movie. They
Okay.
filmed the entire live action scene before sending it to the animators.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
which is kind of insane to think about now. So let me get back to my notes. Steven Spielberg, he helped with everything in the book, comic strips, initial script. So I have a few like initial script notes, which I thought were so funny. Judge Doom, played by Christopher Lloyd.
So good.
Yeah. In one of the initial scripts, he was the hunter that shot Bambi's mom.
Oh, I heard that before,
Which would've been
actually.
hilarious.
That's
That would've been
amazing.
awesome.
Yeah.
And I have acting choices, so I'm gonna have you guys guess
Okay.
who you think the initial choices were for each role. So
But-
who do you think Disney's first pick for Eddie Valiant was back in 1988?
1988.
Can we get like a drop down menu? Can we get a drop down menu of like who the potential contenders were?
You have so
Eddie Murphy.
Not quite. You have
Bill Murray.
that was one of them. There were 3. I was going to
okay.
say there were 3. There was 1 action star and 2 comedians.
Okay, so Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd,
Not Dan Aykroyd.
Chevy Chase.
Chevy Chase.
Okay,
You
I'm
got
doing
the 2
good. Yeah.
comedians.
You're on fire.
Okay, 88 action star. This would have been.
Remember who was opening their wallet for this movie?
So it would have been
who's
Steven,
Amblin?
not Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford.
No way.
Yeah, Harrison Ford was Disney's first pick for Eddie
Wow.
Valiant, but
What
he was
would that-
too expensive.
What would that movie have been like?
Harrison Ford is
rough.
a drunk
Yeah.
detective.
I mean, he did it in Blade Runner. I mean, he's a detective in that, and Indiana Jones is a sort of detective. It would have been. Is he too high status of an actor to play that character?
At
Yes.
that point, he is. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, but like just also in his persona, so not only like literal high status in terms of like the draw, but you see him on screen like, oh, that man is like gorgeous, and everyone is gonna respect him. Like, I don't know if he would have worked as like the bumbling drunk that no one liked anymore.
Yeah, and then you'd have like the
That
kind
being-
of fight for attention between Mickey and Bugs and,
Yeah.
and Harrison.
And Harrison Ford. That being said, that era of Harrison Ford is like peak gorgeous level of Harrison Ford. I would have been okay with more of that.
Yeah. So yeah, Harrison Ford was too expensive. Chevy Chase just straight up said no.
Which is for
because-
the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think that would have worked.
It
Bill
would not
Murray
have
could have been
aged.
interesting,
And
though.
Bill Murray said he
Bill
missed.
Murray, I think,
he
could
said
have
he
done it.
missed the phone call, and it's the biggest mistake of his career.
Oh my
and I
God.
think that's why he took the bit role in Space Jam. Was specifically because he missed out on Roger
It's
Rabbit.
possible.
It's probably also why he took the Garfield role. Actually, no. I know why he took the Garfield role.
Why?
Because the writer-director, or at least the writer or director on Garfield was this guy, Ethan Cohen. He saw Cohen and thought, oh, the Coen brothers was really good.
Oh,
sure,
that's right.
I'll take this movie. It was not the
It's not
Coen
the Coen
brothers.
It was the Cohen cousin.
Yeah. It was like the Cohen's second cousin.
Yeah, it was Sacha Baron Cohen's brother. So the role initially ended up going to Bob Hoskins, who did an amazing job.
Yeah, I think he's perfect. I think he fits that bill perfectly.
Oh, absolutely.
There was an interview with him asking how he prepared for the role, and I thought it was the most adorable answer ever. He said he learned how to play Eddie Valiant by watching his daughter play with her imaginary friends,
Oh my god.
which is just adorable.
That just makes him that much sweeter of a person in my heart.
Also, he's British. I always forget that.
Oh fuck, he is British, isn't he?
Yeah.
See,
I
the Long
always
Good
forget that.
Friday. It's a good.
Is he
film.
British in the Long Good Friday?
He's very British in the Long Good Friday. He's dealing with IRA attacks, being a gangster. You have a young Pierce Brosnan in it.
Wait,
so-
is that the movie where he yells, "Well, then maybe you shouldn't be living here"?
I don't remember the one-liner of.
Because like that's a famous like clip from Pierce Brosnan. Is some girl, it's like I can say whatever I want. I live here. He's like, well, maybe you shouldn't be living here.
No, it's not this one.
Okay.
He plays more of a quiet assassin role.
Okay, then probably not the movie I'm thinking of. Okay, never
More
mind.
Remington Steele, less Mrs. Doubtfire.
Of them both.
Okay, so I'm going to play the same game with you guys for the initial Judge Doom casting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Oh,
Christopher
oh, oh.
Lloyd was not first choice,
Okay,
But he was the last choice and the right
but
one.
he was the best choice, yes. Actually, reading the list, there's one that I really want to see.
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry, exactly.
Oh, I'm fucking good at this game.
Tim Curry was the second choice, but
Ooh.
after test takes, he was deemed too terrifying.
That's absolutely fair.
100%.
Clue is 86.
And
right?
when is it?
Oh shit! It is
Is that 80s or 90s?
early 90s.
Okay.
I want to say.
And Home Alone. The evil maitre d'.
Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, which I believe was 1992. Also, fight me on this one. The superior of the Home Alone films.
Ooh.
I'll go with Lost in New York is my favorite.
It's the better of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're pretty even for me.
Yeah. That movie has an incredible supporting cast. Also, arguably, one of Rob Schneider's best roles. Which is
Right, he's in that.
Is
He's the bellboy.
Yeah. Is that the faintest praise you can damn something with?
Yes.
A Rob Schneider great role. I'm looking at you, Surf Ninjas. His best role, Surf Ninjas. Again, fight me on this one.
Okay, so Tim
Surf
Curry.
Ninjas or Surf Nazis?
Surf Ninjas. Is there a Surf Nazis?
There is a Surf Nazi.
What is this?
It is a craptastic film that we will not grace.
craptastic
Just look
Bob
it up. When
That'd be the
you're
next
so
bonus
stoned
episode.
that you cannot get off the couch and it's on the TV, go ahead and take a look.
Okay, so
I'll give it a gander.
So Tim Curry was the second choice. He was deemed too scary.
Second choice.
80,
This went into production, what, 87?
86.
80, went into production 86.
I'll give you the first choice because it's kind of a left fielder.
Clint Eastwood.
Christopher Lee.
Oh.
Yes. Who just straight up turned it down. Went to Curry, said he was too scary, and then went to John Cleese,
Oh, that'd be
who
interesting.
said he was not scary enough.
No,
I was gonna say all three of them are believable, but actually John Cleese would probably be the one that I would say no, he's too comedic. Whereas
Yeah.
with Christopher Lee and with Tim Curry being too evil,
Yeah.
Can we see those screen tests, please?
God, I
Oh,
so wish
man.
I could. I mean, anything. I want to see everything Tim Curry has done ever.
Every audition.
Yeah, I want to see every tape he's on
Yeah.
possible. But yeah, I think John Cleese, I think he's just a little bit, he's caustic, but he's not mean. There's a slight difference. Like, he's
Yeah.
very sarcastic and very dry.
Yeah.
He's, I think, too British. too for that role. Like that role, I feel like needs to be American because only an American would think of a freeway.
So speaking of accents, so Bob Hoskins was supposed to be doing a California accent the whole movie.
Yeah.
But he couldn't figure it out, so he just defaulted to New York.
I was gonna say he kind of had a gruff Chicago, New
Yeah.
York kind of
Yeah.
a thing.
They told him to do LA, and on the first day of shooting, he just started New York.
Well, there is no LA accent. We
Yeah.
It's the default American accent.
But I mean, it's movies in the 40s. I would have expected the
Transatlantic kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
But I'm glad they didn't go that route.
Oh, where'd you go, Raja?
Yeah,
Exactly.
So that was
We got a
so
murder to
the,
solve.
so the test shoots from the 1981 test animation. That is how Valiant spoke.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that would be interesting to see too.
Yeah. So there's like a 3-minute cut of it on YouTube. Very interesting to watch. So other voice actors, we had Charles Fleischer as the voice of Roger, and he does not consider
yeah.
he does not consider it a voice acting role.
Oh really?
He considers he made up a term for it, and I didn't write it down, but it was like it was basically like acting from afar was how
okay.
he said it.
Interesting.
Because he was so into it, he had the costume department make him a rabbit suit that he wore around set, and he would deliver his lines just off camera in a Roger Rabbit suit.
So
There are photos of this.
I want to see this. Obviously,
great.
we're posting this on Instagram, but also, I mean, who was filling in for him on screen? Because one of the amazing things of this movie is how well the animation and live action is blended together. So I mean, there are scenes when there is clearly someone standing, like, you know, grabbing the front shirt of Bob Hoskins, being like,
Yeah.
you know, dames,
Yeah.
whatever. Who's there? Who's doing that?
Just production.
What?
Yeah.
Like a PA?
They didn't even have green suits, which is crazy.
That's what I'm wondering about. How did they? You see it earliest after the scene where they have the baby and Roger, and they're doing the total cartoon all around, and then it ends, and then Roger's pulling on the coat of the director, and you see the sleeve
Yeah.
go up.
So,
how did they do that? You just had a dude?
No, so it was a mix of three things. If it had to be a physical interaction and there was no camera movement, that was where the clean slate came from. That
Okay.
was why they did clean slates.
For those of us who don't know what clean slates are, even if it's just me.
That's when you film the camera movement with no actors.
Okay.
So there were three main ways they would do it. So puppeteering was most of it, where they would have people up above and just strings and, you know,
Just
pulling.
use the fish line. And,
Yeah, it's like Bob Hoskins' suit was on a marionette string, and that's how they were doing it.
Some of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That's
that was
crazy.
That was probably half of it.
Okay.
A quarter of it was animatronic. So not people, but for like Baby
Robots.
Herman's cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for Baby Herman's cigar and for any scene with Roger and water, it was just like a metal rod they painted over.
That is horrifying to think of a robot sitting in the pram holding a cigar trying to be Baby Herman.
Yeah. Well,
slapping a lady's ass.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Baby Terminator just hanging out in a stroller. Fucking horrifying.
yeah. I mean, like, obviously it's not a full robot, but it was
Cameron, in my mind, it is.
I know, and it should have been.
Yes.
But it's cool because off to the side they had a person controlling the arm with a real robot arm, and so he would be controlling the rotation of it.
Oh my god.
And so that's how they got it to look natural while shooting.
Yeah.
And then the third one was if it was a still shot, they would have some person on production come and like grab the like the shirt. And,
Yeah.
for anything like that.
That's amazing.
So the one that is the most amazing in my opinion is Jessica's intro scene where
Right,
she sings her song.
The club, yeah.
Yeah. And you see the interaction with all the people.
Yeah.
The one that makes me laugh so much is when she's playing with Acme's face.
Yes.
And I laugh at it every time because I can just imagine them like having someone coming and like pushing his cheeks in real life.
It's not just some random crew person.
Yeah.
Again, probably the PA.
Yeah.
Just going up and grabbing his
But
face.
the actor has to look totally lovesick, staring off away from whoever
It's
is
just
his, like,
playing with their
assistant.
face. Yeah.
Well, Well,
And it's-
Steve, the PA, is fiddling with his face.
It's amazing. So that was rule 2.
Incredible. Okay.
So rule 1 was eye lines were the most important thing.
Okay. Rule 2.
Rule 2 is physical interaction.
Got it.
So that was how they made everything feel so real. Like they could have just had a cartoon gun, but no, they wanted a real life gun, and that's actually why Roger is so clumsy, is because they wanted more things for him to interact with, which I thought is a great way to do it.
Well, because isn't the scene in the speakeasy, like that's like a huge thing, right? Is that, wasn't that a deliberate challenge, was to have the camera or the lighting swing?
Yes.
So the animators had to work around that, like to help give that sense of verisimilitude.
Yeah, so it coined a new term in animation called shaking the lamp, which is just saying like going the extra mile.
It's like the antithesis of jumping the shark. It's like jumping the shark is you're going to be lazy.
Yeah. So it's adding all the detail that no one will notice.
Yeah.
So like, as people who aren't in animation, like you don't really understand how hard the lighting change is.
Oh,
through
must be
that.
crazy. Yeah.
So talk to me about the scene. So we're in it's before the shave and a haircut 2 bits.
Yes.
So they're there, and it's when you have Judge Doom walking around. Or
No. So
set
it's
the scene.
It's when they first enter the back room, and Bob Hoskins keeps hitting his head on the lamp.
He's handcuffed to
Right.
Roger.
Okay.
And so that whole scene, the light is moving back and forth.
So even though those 2 characters are still, because he's got the hacksaw and he's trying to saw off, even with that, when the light is actually moving, they had to constantly go and redraw Roger for every single pendulum swing of the lamp.
Well, it's not that they had to redraw him, because they'd have to do that anyway, because that's just how animation works. It was they had to reconfigure how the lighting was for him. So there's no real, like, you just kind of have to know how lighting works. There's no real, like, guess or, like, wait. Or there's no real thing that tells you, like, okay, the light is here. We need this much light on him or this angle of light on him. It's all just kind of eyeballed because they're professionals. So before this, another rule along the lines of no camera movement was lighting has to stay still. There, in most cases, there wasn't lighting. You would sometimes have a little shadow, but this is the movie that had both highlights and shadow to give them more of a 3D feel. So they felt round in the scene, not just kind of like sheets of paper, which they were.
But it was still dynamic to watch, and it's because of going the extra mile, or to use the phrase that I just learned, because they decided to go and shake the lamp.
Yeah.
They could actually have a scene like that, which was just one out of the many for me. But that was actually really, like, you were probably watching that and seeing something entirely different than I was. Your eyes
Yeah.
were focused to something entirely else. Like I was probably
Yeah.
looking at
Yeah. Like if you
Bob, and
Yeah.
you were looking at the drawing on how they did Roger Rabbit.
if you don't know the work that goes into animation or to drawing, you're just like, you don't even think about the fact that'd be so fucking difficult. But it's, like we were just out at the Getty, right? And it's just like, oh, right, like where the light source is in a drawing makes a huge difference. So imagine on top of the fact that you're, moving a character at 24 frames per second and redrawing for every single one of those frames. On top of that, not only is the character moving, but the lighting is changing as you go. So
And
it's a whole extra level. So it's like beyond the normal work that have to go into it, it's this huge extra amount of work just to make it all look real. And again, I had no real, like you told me about this years ago, like a couple years ago. I'm like, oh my God, I never even thought about that scene.
Yeah.
How crazy it is.
Yeah. Before that, kind of the hardest thing that Disney had done animation-wise, I don't remember which animator coined it, but it was the famous Disney head swivel. And there was only one animator of the 12 old men, 9 old men.
Yeah.
The
12 angry men.
The 12 angry men.
Yes.
The 9 old men were the 9 original animators for Disney that went on to kind of direct and produce every Disney film up through the 70s.
Yeah.
There was one in particular that had called the Disney head swivel, where whenever a character would talk, they would always talk either straight on, 3/4, or side, because those are the easiest to do, and the head position would almost never change. So this one animator came in and be like, no, I'm just doing this to show off. You see it with Sir John, you're going to fucking stab me.
Little John?
Little John.
Yeah.
Wait, Little John in Robin Hood?
Yes.
Okay, or King John.
No.
Prince John. Prince John and Little John.
You
There's
see
two.
it with both of them.
Okay.
So it's kind of when, like, as they're talking, their head looks up and they kind of close their eyes and their jaw kind of swivels side to side.
I think it's Prince John.
There's a handful of characters that do it, but only one animator had the technical skill to do it, to actually animate that.
Okay.
So anytime you see that in a movie, you know who did it, and that was literally him just showing off to the other animators.
Okay.
It's like, I can do this and you can't.
That-
Fuck you.
I mean, that makes sense because in the same way, it's like you're adjusting the lighting, you have a character's head moving at the same time that they're talking. So, like, every frame, you have to count for both variables as you're. That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
my
so
God.
cool.
Also, Cameron only saw Robin Hood for like the first time like a year ago.
Yeah, it's not important. So Fleischer in the suit. So as I mentioned before, Richard Williams literally wrote the book on modern animation and survival kit. So you kind of touched on this, and so I wanted to highlight this again. Williams and Zemeckis wanted to highlight the strengths of every studio in the golden era. So you said you liked the movie because it kind of feels like you love like the nostalgia of those old cartoons.
Yeah, because I got to see them all, but I didn't realize that it was such a big deal because it required the heavyweights of Hollywood to go and make this film happen just to get all those characters there. That was something you were telling me.
Yeah. So they wanted to highlight the best characteristics of every studio. So they wanted the production caliber of Disney. Disney just looked better than everyone else.
Yeah.
They wanted the character design of Looney Tunes, and they wanted the humor of Tex Avery, which is just like they nailed it.
Yeah,
they got
no,
all
they
three of
absolutely
those. So then we have I could only figure out there were 7 studios that had animated characters in the movie.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Let me see if I can.
I don't have them written. I'm sorry.
Okay, but we know Alicia was Warner Brothers, Disney.
Yep.
I'm assuming Betty Boop, and that was owned by somebody else.
Yeah, that was a like the 7th one. I didn't even know the studio.
Do you remember any of the other ones?
Paramount.
Who had Paramount? What were
don't
the
know.
Paramount characters?
I don't know. The only ones I have written down. There were 81 Disney characters, and
Wow.
there were 18 Warner Brothers characters.
Wow. Okay.
And I have a list. There were a few characters that were greenlit. They got the okay, but they just ran out of time to put them in the movie. One of them is going to make both of us a little upset.
Was it Batman?
It was not. It was Superman. It was Fleischer's Superman.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Because there wouldn't have been an animated Batman back in 1947.
Right. So Fleischer's Superman from the 40s. So the ones that were greenlit were Popeye, Chip and Dale, Fleischer's Superman, Tom and Jerry, and Mighty Mouse.
Oh, Mighty Mouse.
Yeah.
I love Mighty Mouse.
So some more fun facts. Betty Boop was voiced by her original voice actress. It was also the last job she did. So it's kind of cool. She got to like bookend it with her.
Yay.
Yeah.
No. Oh.
Yeah, I know. It's happy. It's
Okay,
it's
good.
melancholy.
I assumed she just died.
The movie was based off of Chinatown, which I thought was kind of funny.
It is.
Okay,
Wait.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Cameron, you have not seen,
Not seen Chinatown.
Okay, yeah. I've seen Chinatown. Alec, you've seen Chinatown.
Several times.
Yeah, but I mean,
Several times.
yeah, the conceit. Stop leaning away from the
Just
microphone.
stay in.
Stay next to the microphone. Look at us. Look at how fixed our heads are to the microphone. Just stay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. But no, I've seen Chinatown once. I know you've seen it several times. But like the whole conceit of like this broader conspiracy for basically a development project. Like in Chinatown, it was about the water, right?
Yeah, for them it was all about bringing the water down to Los Angeles. But for this film, I mean, they're trying to go with the freeway. They ham it up a little bit more,
Which is
was
perfect,
fun.
though. I mean, it's like that is the satirical version of the water rights would be we're going to build a freeway.
Instead of an aqueduct, it's just like, a run viaduct where that way people can get from A to B.
But I mean, even the fact that Eddie Valiant doesn't want to go to Toontown, like Jake doesn't want to go to Chinatown. Same thing, and eventually the plot forces him to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, luckily there's not incest in this movie, as far as we know.
So the rumor is the initial version of the script was Chinatown 3. They just revamped with cartoon characters.
Oh, that would be interesting. Wait, when did the two Jakes come out? Do you know that?
I don't know. I've never seen that.
Yeah, I've never seen either. I've heard it's not worth seeing. So,
Because didn't Alec Baldwin direct that? One of the Baldwin. No.
What?
Am I crazy? I'm crazy. Ignore
no,
that.
no. Roman Polanski directed Chinatown.
No, but who did the second one? The unofficial sequel. The one that was
For
so
the two
bad they don't
Jakes?
consider it. Is that the one that was so bad they don't consider it a sequel?
The two Jakes.
Sure. I don't know. I haven't seen them.
But I mean, I don't know if it wasn't Roman Polanski, but I don't think it was a Baldwin that directed it.
I don't know. I'm crazy.
It's a 1990 film by Jack Nicholson.
That was it. I'm
Jack
like, it's one
Nicholson
of the actors.
directed the
And
Two
a
Jakes.
sequel, The Two Jakes is a 1990 American neo-noir mystery film and the sequel to the 1974 film Chinatown.
Yeah.
Directed by and starring Jack Nicholson.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
so like
let's-
that's where it came from. Like,
hard pass.
So one of the other cool things, Jessica's design was inspired initially by Red Hot Riding Hood from Tex Avery cartoons.
Oh, right, yeah. The wolf would always whistle at her.
Right.
Yeah.
And also inspired by real-life Hollywood stars Lauren Bacall, Rita Hayworth,
Oh.
and Victoria Lake.
That makes sense. Yeah, I can see Lauren Bacall there.
Other random facts that I wrote down, the computer technology existed, and it had just come out that would help with lighting and shadows, but Williams and Zemeckis refused to use it. They said it was a disservice to the original animators. There were 82,000 animated frames in this movie.
Oh my god.
There were so many that I loved this fact. Disney hired every available animator across Iceland, Germany, and France to help with the movie, along with every animation student in London to help color cells.
Shit.
Disney, oh my god, this is so good. Disney initially budgeted for 12 minutes of animation.
What?
12 minutes?
12 minutes of animation.
How the fuck?
Zemeckis and Williams came back with them with 52 minutes of animation, 48 of which made it into the final cut.
I mean, what's the runtime of the movie? It's about 90 minutes, a little over 90, right?
I wouldn't say so, yeah.
That's crazy though. So only half of the movie, more or less, has animated.
So what's the cost per minute? Like, what happens when you go that much longer? How much more money are we talking about?
I don't know. But
Ballpark, best guess.
I couldn't
Adjusted
even-
for inflation.
So
like, here we
this-
are in
I-
2018.
So let's see, it was 70 million. We'll go with 90 minutes. Math. Number, I don't know.
Just pull it out of your butt.
I can't. I'm gonna say I can't. I'm gonna say 5,000. Is that too much?
5,000 a minute?
Oh, a minute. I forgot
Yeah.
a minute part. I was like, 5,000? That's like nothing. That's like a coffee order.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 5,000 a minute. I couldn't even guess. To be
And
honest.
so,
That's
how
a
did
good-
Steven
that's a good question.
Spielberg help? Because he was the guy who really pushed this through, is what you've
Yeah.
been saying.
So
And it also sounded like there was a little bit of chip on the shoulder about it too, right?
no, what I told you last night, I was wrong about that.
How
Oh.
dare you,
sorry.
Cameron?
I was spinning lies. No, the project almost folded multiple times because Eisner didn't want to put any more money in, and so Spielberg was basically like, "You have to keep doing this because I say so, and because every studio is behind me. I did so much for this. I'm not letting this fold." So they kept it open.
I mean, I think it's worth talking about the fact that this movie could never have been made had it not been for Steven Spielberg.
Exactly.
This is something we talked about off screen before, but I mean, like you said, trying to draw from 7 different studios, the closest equivalent I could think of now would be trying to get DC characters in a Marvel movie. Mm-hmm. I think that's about the closest comparison we have now.
DC it's you want. I want a movie with Iron Man, Superman, and Hellboy.
Yeah,
all front and
yeah,
center.
all the different characters.
Could
across
you
the-
even do that today?
No.
No.
So the closest we've
They're all
had.
such money-making machines.
Well,
You
that's
go
exactly it.
back.
And
So were these characters.
yeah, I mean
But
now
Spielberg was Spielberg.
Yeah.
right. I mean, even now studios are so covetous of their IP. That's still true of back in the day. And it was we talked about this before that Spielberg basically had the combination of like clout and connections to make this happen. That basically people trusted him enough that he was established enough of a filmmaker. The studios are willing to take a bit of a risk and say, okay, yes, because it's you, I trust that you're not going to fuck us over by including our characters in your movie. And the modern equivalent, of course, was Ready Player One.
Also Spielberg.
Also Spielberg, he directed it, and he was able to get stuff from like Warner Brothers. There was a bit of Star
Sony,
Wars in there.
Microsoft.
He already had a relationship with them though, because he was working on Halo stuff well before that. But yeah, I mean, across multiple video games, what Nintendo?
Yeah.
Is there any Disney in there anywhere?
I doubt it.
I don't think.
I can't.
No,
think
I
of
feel like
any.
I think there was a bit of Star Wars in there somewhere. How
Do
easily
we have Storm? No, because I think any part there would have been Stormtroopers was was just Master Chief's.
But okay, yeah. So maybe there wasn't Disney stuff in Ready Player One, but that at least was able to draw IP across multiple studios and properties in a way that is rarely ever done.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, I don't think it matches this level. Like,
No.
this is like characters from different studios prominently featured, interacting with each other on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, the great example in The Club, the Donald Duck, Daffy Duck piano battle, which is one of my favorite scenes of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, again, the modern equivalent of that would be like Batman and Iron Man, like, I don't know, having a rich guy off on stage. Never would happen.
It's an auction scene. And it's Bruce and Tony trying to outbid each other. That's the comparison.
Yeah.
But now I want to see that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And Stan Lee's in the background.
Yeah. Hi, I'm here too.
Yeah, don't forget about me.
Hello, true believers.
So this is another one that I didn't know before, which I think is really cool. Initially, there were supposed to be 12 weasels, but then they cut it down. There were supposed to be 7 weasels, and they were supposed to be the
Dwarves?
anti-dwarves. So they cut it down to 5.
Oh my god.
And their names really reflect they were supposed to be the anti-dwarves.
Okay.
So their names are Greasy, Wheezy, Psycho, Stupid, and Smartass. Or if you ask someone at the parks, his name is Wise Guy. That's the censored version.
Okay, who's who?
Greasy is the
Is he the lead?
Green?
he's the green one.
Green tuxedo, okay.
Wheezy's the one in blue who's always smoking. Psycho is the one in the
It's the straight jacket
yeah.
with the straight razor as a weapon. Yeah, love that character.
yeah. Stupid is the one in the hat and the
He
striped
got the propeller head and the baseball bat.
Yeah.
and then Smartass is the leader.
The main one. Oh my god, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
Or
because-
wise guy.
Yeah,
wise guy.
because I didn't realize that was his name, but anytime Judge Doom yells at him, he says stop. He calls him smartass.
Yeah.
And I thought that was just him calling him a smartass. But no, that's his name.
Because they
So
say that in the
good.
movie. He says like
He says it
son
2
of
or
a
3
bitch,
times.
and then there's also other times where they say like, what the hell is going on? So smartass, you wouldn't think much of it beyond.
Yeah. So yeah,
so
that's
clever.
so cool, right? Fun fact: Jessica Rabbit's song was sung by Steven Spielberg's wife at the time, and she
Wait,
didn't-
who
I
was
didn't
his...
write her name down.
Wait, hang on. What would that have been Cape Catshaw?
Possibly.
What
It
year
would have
did
been
what year
within the
did
same time zone.
Temple of Doom come out? Was that 80
That was
what?
earlier.
83 was Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Sure.
Raiders of the Lost Ark was 80.
Amy Irving was her name.
80. Amy Irving. Okay. Oh, that was his wife before Kate Capshaw. And he's been with Kate Capshaw ever since. So, because like, but
Temple of Doom came out in 84.
84. Okay, that's right. Yeah, because it helped change.
81 was Raiders.
Okay, yeah,
And then
84, that's right, 'cause-
88 or 89 was Lost Ark.
Yeah, Temple of Doom helped start the PG-13 rating, famously, and then I don't know. This is a total tangent. I wonder, did Kate Capshaw do her own singing for the opening of Temple of Doom? Probably not. With Anything Goes.
Oh, the Chinese version of it? I
Yeah.
don't know.
I don't know.
By the way, rewatched that recently. Pretty damn good. It's still the least of the 3 originals, but it's pretty damn good, guys.
So there were 2 major scenes cut out of the movie.
Okay.
One of which is fully
A
animated.
sex scene between Jessica and Roger.
No, that's Cool World.
Oh, is it the one with Brad Pitt?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Talk about that later.
Yeah.
So the first scene is one that I wish none of this was animated or shot.
Okay.
The second one is fully animated and is online. It's
my
great.
God.
I got to see a new scene from Roger Rabbit last night, and I was like crying in bed. It was so so heartwarming. So the scene that sounded amazing that was cut was supposed to be Acme's funeral.
Oh wow.
So the pallbearers were going to be Bluto, Popeye, Elmer Fudd, Goofy, Felix the Cat, and Yosemite Sam,
wow.
with Foghorn Leghorn doing the sermon.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And you got to see the scene?
That scene was not done. That's the one that they wanted to do.
Just the imagination. Of
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll say, this was a great man here who are now laying to rest.
Yeah. The second scene, which is fully animated, it was actually the first scene they animated.
No shit.
there's one kind of continuity jump that's kind of bugged me the past few times I've watched it, and it's when they go from Eddie leaving right after he cuts the handcuffs off. He's like, I have some things I'm going to figure out.
Oh, yeah, and he goes straight to the office.
Yeah, and then the next scene is him in the bathroom, walking out of the bathroom with Jessica and walking into his office.
Mm-hmm.
So there was supposed to be a scene right in between there that was cut.
Okay.
Because a day goes by.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So that night, the scene is Eddie breaks into Jessica's changing room at the bar.
Yeah.
And looking for the will. Because then there's a line after. I'll talk about that in a second. He gets hit over the head. Someone leaves the room. As he opens it, the gorilla bouncer is there, knocks him out. He wakes up and Doom is there. And Doom's like, we're going to take you downtown. He's like, okay, I know the police commissioner. I'll be fine. He's like, no, we're going to take you to downtown Toontown. And so the Weasels put him in the car. You see him drive down the tunnel. You don't see Toontown, but you see him come back with a bag over his head. And the Weasels are closing up markers. And he takes the bag off his head, and he has a cartoon pig head.
Oh, I've seen bits of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so it's cool seeing the animated version and then the thing they actually shot, because he had like a wire frame head.
Yeah.
And you could see him actually miming. It was awesome.
Oh my god.
So he's pulling on the face, and then the next scene is him in the bathroom in the shower, having a turpentine shower, washing the pig head off of him. And then he walks out and sees Jessica.
Oh, that does make a little more sense. Yeah, 'cause I noticed that this time too. It's like, oh, like he did just jump to the office.
And there's a line that they say, because there's that other scene that always confused me was Jessica as Eddie is walking out of the office with, oh my god, I hate myself right now.
Dolores,
thank you. He's like, you see Jessica in the car behind him listening to their conversation. Yeah. And he says the line, I know there's a will because they're still looking for it. Oh. You don't really see them looking for it in the first scene. Mm-hmm. And so it was said because it's the scene that was cut is other people looking for the will. Yeah. Oh. So that's why Jessica is listening in, because like the will does exist. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that scene is fully animated and is on YouTube. It's pretty great. So like I said, it was the most expensive film at the time. It cost $70 million, made back all of it and then some. And there are currently 2 movies that are trying to make it up the approval ladder from Disney. You have a prequel and a sequel potentially coming out.
Okay, yeah, I've heard bits about both.
So the prequel was written in the early 90s. The first draft of the prequel was going to be Roger making his way to Hollywood. Okay. So it's going to be him having a humble beginning on a farm. Then he gets drafted into the war, where he meets Jessica, and then they go to Hollywood together. Okay. But Steven Spielberg said absolutely no to this, because he said he refuses to make any other movie with Nazis.
Yeah, no, that's a real thing. Is after he made Schindler's List, he's like, I will never again make Nazis a semi-comical villain in a movie.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, he said no to that, and so then they rewrote the script. So instead of him going to the war, he goes to Broadway, and they actually wrote a song for Jessica to sing, because that's where they meet, is on Broadway. Yeah. And it's on Spotify, because the woman who sang it's on one of her albums. It's pretty good.
What's the name of the song?
Hold on, I'll find it in a minute.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's the prequel, and they were trying to do a sequel, which was closer to what the second book was about, which is them making an animated Gone with the Wind, or cartoon version of Gone with the Wind, and
what?
Yeah, and Jessica kind of using other real life actors to progress her acting career. So it was going to be her trying to date Clark Gable.
Oh my god!
Yeah, right.
I want to see this.
Right. So that's what the book is about.
Yeah. Because this character in Gone with the Wind is Scarlett O'Hara, right? Mm-hmm. But who was the actress? It was Maureen.
Francis. I don't know.
Yes, Maureen Francis.
That sounds like a name.
Yeah, not her name.
Yeah, but it's a name. Don't act like it's not a name.
There's no one in the world named Maureen Francis.
Um,
That would have been amazing, though.
yeah. So this is, I think, like, it gave me so much more love to Roger Rabbit, was learning about this fact. Roger Rabbit gave Eisner faith that people still wanted animated films, and it gave him the confidence to give a bigger budget to Little Mermaid,
Oh my god.
which started the Disney Renaissance. So technically, Roger Rabbit is the reason for the Disney Renaissance.
That's fucking incredible.
Which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's so... Oh, my... I love the Disney Renaissance.
Also, I love the skewed studio thinking on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the quality of the independent movie. It's just, animation did well, do more animation.
Vivian Leigh was Scarlett O'Hara.
Thank you.
And why? So was it all the Black Cauldron that caused Disney to go into this death spiral? Why did you have a renaissance? What led up to the second act?
You have
Good question.
what's considered the Disney Dark Age. So you have the... if we do it by age, you have the classic Disney, which is Snow White to Sword in the Stone. So in 1938 to 1961. That was where it was kind of the same animation crew did everything. Walt had his hand in everything. And it was all
And
done.
the films were all generally considered to be spectacular.
Yes. Not all of them.
Well, for something that was-
Fantasia actually did really bad.
Yes. Fantasia did a bad job, but it came back given the scoring that was done and the live playing of
Yeah.
it. I do remember this.
They all cost so much that Disney was never a super profitable company through the 30s, 40s, and 50s. They were always just getting by. And it's actually why in the 40s they had so many propaganda shorts. So there's a lot of shorts of Daffy in...
Donald Duck, yeah.
Donald in the military.
Yeah, and like the war bonds, buy the war bonds kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And that was a way for them to make profit as opposed to just breaking even.
Yeah. And then in the 40s, you had the second dip where it's all the movies that no one remembers. So that's when you have Salidos Amigos, The Three Caballeros, Ichabod and Mr. Toad. So yes, that's the classic era. And then you have a mini era called the Xerox era, where animation changed. They found a faster way to animate, and so it didn't have the same polish that the 50s movies had. So that's the first one would be 101 Dalmatians. And if you actually go back and rewatch that, you can see the pencil lines in a few of the frames.
Which I love, actually.
I do too. It gives like a very sketchy feel. But
for them, they would see it as not being very professional. It wasn't polished enough.
Yeah, they found a faster way to do everything. That's also when the Disney tracing started happening. So if you watch some movies, there's hilarious compilations on YouTube where animators will trace other Disney scenes for their... So Robin Hood has a big one where Robin Hood and
Maid Marian
are dancing, and it's taken straight from Cinderella. Sleeping Beauty.
No, I
No?
thought it was... Well, there's a dance sequence that's shared between the Aristocats and Robin Hood.
So that one. Sorry.
Maid Marian is dancing just like Duchess and the Aristocats. I forget which one came first.
But I think that's traced from I think that's traced from one of the other
They
princesses.
may have traced over a trace.
Yeah, but also Sleeping Beauty and Cinderella, I think, are the same like wide shot dance sequence around thing. And then there's also Baloo is the same animation style as Little John.
Yes.
Because they're both bears in...
And then Sir Hiss and Caw.
Yes. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of just like them just taking old animation and basically just sketching over it to make it look a little bit different.
Yeah. So they found faster, cheaper ways to do everything in the Xerox era.
But a lot of those movies are still really good, though.
Still great
movies. Yeah,
movies, yeah.
some of my favorites are, in fact, The Aristocats, Robin Hood, 101 Dalmatians. Those are all, what, 60s?
60s to 70s.
Okay.
Yeah, because Robin Hood was 78.
Was it 78? It was that late?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So then that led into the Dark Age, where it was kind of other studios started to make animated films, and so it kind of gave Disney competition. So that's when you had Fox and the Hound, Black Cauldron, your favorite, A Great Mouse Detective, and The Rescuers.
When was Lady and the Tramp?
70s. No,
Okay.
no,
Was it early?
no, 50s.
50s. Okay.
59. No, that's Sleeping Beauty.
For fuck's sake.
57.
Okay. I got it. 50s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was 57. Yeah. That's the timeline. So you had these movies that either barely broke even or just dropped. And so while you had kind of Rescuers and Great Mouse Detective, you had Amblin did Fievel, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had other animation studios coming out with their own stuff that was just as good as Disney stuff. And so the market was split. Disney stopped making money, got in a real deep, big hole, wanted to cancel it. So then you had the Renaissance come out where every movie was the biggest movie ever.
Like The Lion King, with
Yeah.
Elton John
So,
doing the soundtrack.
1989 was Little Mermaid. 1990 was Rescuers Down Under. No one really talks about that one.
I love that movie.
I do too, but it's not really part of the Renaissance. We just don't really talk about it. Beauty and the Beast was 91. Aladdin was 92. Lion King was 94.
We talked about
Pocahontas.
this last night. Beauty and the Beast was a contender for Best Picture at the Oscars.
Yeah. Is it the only animated film to be nominated? Wait.
Only Disney animated. Actually, I don't think there were any others.
Was-
No, it wasn't.
I think Toy Story 3 was nominated.
Oh, it was. You're
But
right.
I think it was the
Toy Story
only
3 came out
in 2010.
21st century.
Yeah, I think it might have been Beauty and the Beast, and correct me if I'm wrong. I think Beauty and the Beast was the only ever animated movie to be nominated for Best Picture when it was the original 5 Best Picture category. When it was the abbreviated category prior to 2009, I think that was the only animated film ever nominated.
Yeah.
Which is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Also, much deserved.
Yes. Oh, 100%.
Much deserved, but also fucking insane.
Yeah. So you had 95, you had Hunchback, 96, Pocahontas, Hercules, 97, Mulan, 98, Tarzan, 99, and then ending it with Emperor's New Groove in 2000.
Oh,
Every movie made bank.
Yeah.
Disney was fucking rolling in it and then burned it all to the ground in the second dark age.
Well, because,
Which is what?
2001 to 2008.
but I mean,
How did they do that? What was the dark
What were
age
you gonna
then?
say?
well, I think that's when we started getting, again, other studios making animated films. They started doing CGI movies.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
changed.
so like
So Pixar came
changed
in and started eating
everything.
yeah,
Disney's
Pixar
lunch.
comes in, and so I mean, Pixar was still affiliated with Disney at the time. They would have been distributing Disney through Disney, not necessarily produced by Disney.
Right.
But then you get like Shrek coming through. That was DreamWorks.
Well, so then there's the whole Katzenberg fight.
Oh right, yeah.
I'll try and give the brief version. Katzenberg was chairman. Eisner was president. When Roy Disney, one of the other Disneys, was still CEO, when they dropped down, Eisner was supposed to go up to CEO. Katzenberg was supposed to go up to president. Eisner basically said, I'm going to be both president and CEO because he's an asshole.
Yeah.
And so Katzenberg basically said, fuck this. Had a talk with Steven Spielberg, said, hey, let's make our own animation studio. They created DreamWorks, and then basically stole all the work in progress movies from Disney to make their own versions of DreamWorks. So that's why you had Ants, which is a DreamWorks film, come out at the same time as Bug's Life. You had Road to El Dorado come out right before Atlantis. They were supposed to be almost the same movie. And then they just the two heads, Eisner and Katzenberg, would just throw the most childish punches at each other, and it's so funny. So there was a ride at Disneyland called the Great. No, not the Great, not the one in World. The one in Disney California Adventure, which is now Monsters Inc. The Monsters Inc. ride.
Oh, it was like it's like the Great Hollywood Ride or something like that.
Yeah, like
right?
the Great
Like,
Hollywood
It took you
Chase.
through a whole bunch of scenes from Hollywood films. Like the one I remember is from Disney World, but they took you through like there was a part of it that was like Rick's Cafe American from Casablanca.
The
and there
one
was, like,
here was different because the one here
Oh.
was super cheap because the initial version, kind of a sad story. They had this great like almost extreme ride setup where it was supposed to be a really fast moving limo chase through Hollywood. You're supposed to
Oh,
land.
right, yeah.
The ride story was you're landing at LAX and you're getting in the limo and you have to make it to the Chinese theater to sign a contract. and you only have a certain amount of time to get
That's
there.
so funny because that's what became like that plot line is now used for the Aerosmith roller coaster at Hollywood Studios in Florida.
Also, the Jimmy Fallon ride at Universal Studios Florida, except it's all 3D and it sucks.
Jesus Christ.
So it was supposed to be this great limo chase, and they greenlit the ride. They started working on the ride. They blew all their money because they were making this amazing ride. In the middle of it was when Princess Diana died because you were getting chased by paparazzi throughout the ride. And Princess Diana got in a car crash because she's
they
getting
had to
chased by
pull the
paparazzi.
whole
They had
thing.
to completely redraw everything from scratch. And so one of the reason I bring this up was one of the punches that Eisner was throwing out to Katzenberg was they had a big sign for DreamWorks, but it said like dreams stink, like the most childish insult you could imagine. And it was 100% greenlit by Eisner.
Oh my
Just because he
God.
wanted a punch at Katzenberg.
Wow.
And then you have Shrek, which is just a big shit on to Disney. Like everything about it is just saying "fuck you, Disney."
I mean, yes. And that's maybe where it started, but I think
It has
it's
grown to its own story.
Well, yeah, but I think even that original one, I don't feel like it's shitting on Disney so much as it's commenting on those stereotypes.
Yes.
So I mean, it's like tomato.
Well, Lord
sort of
Farquaad
thing.
is supposed to be Eisner.
That's true. Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they're making fun of the princesses. In the Shrek 2, they have all the princesses in the movie. And then there's just a few other small jabs.
Yeah.
But that's all getting away from the point. The second Dark Age was, you had Pixar come in, and then you had DreamWorks come in, and the one studio that made Prince of Egypt and Road El Dorado. No, that was DreamWorks. Whatever, not important.
I don't know,
I'm getting way off track here.
Yeah.
Disney said that because Pixar is doing so well, people don't want 2D animation anymore, and so they did. Atlantis didn't do too well. Treasure Planet bombed, even though it's amazing. And then Home on the Range was the second biggest animated flop of all time.
That was CGI though, wasn't it?
No, that was still 2D. That was 2004. It's the last.
Okay.
It was the last 2D film, and they almost shut down the 2D department because that movie did so bad.
I mean, they basically did. Like, Disney didn't put out a 2D film.
Until Princess and the Frog, which is the last 2D film they've done.
Yeah, which
And-
is still really good.
Yeah, 2009.
Yeah.
So in between then, you had the string of mediocre, I love most of them,
Wow.
3D films. You have Chicken Little, Meet the Robinsons, Bolt, and I think that's it. I'm
Okay.
missing one. It's not important. None of them did well. Princess and the Frog comes out, kills it. Actually, just as okay because they're competing with Avatar. Came out the same weekend. And then
2008?
no.
2009,
2009.
Avatar. Ugh.
I know. And then Tangled came out, which was the first, and then that starts the modern age of Disney. That's when John Lasseter came. It's like, hey, let me help you guys. So then you have Tangled, and then it's been all 3D, all major hits again.
What? Tangled, Wreck-It Ralph, Frozen.
Big Hero 6.
Oh, Big Hero 6.
I know, it's so good.
So good.
Zootopia, Moana.
I mean, so tying this all back, this
Yeah,
all
yeah, yeah.
because of
Because
Roger
of
Rabbit
Roger Rabbit. That's right.
30 years ago.
And I think that were all of my points. So that was my little spiel. You want to do trivia real quick?
Yes.
Okay.
Let us do Roger Rabbit trivia. Let's see how well we
I
can do
have
with this. All
12
right.
questions.
All right.
They're getting, some of them are real hard, and I am sorry for those. It was what I was thinking of in the morning or last night.
All right. I like
Okay.
a good challenge. Let's see what we got here.
Yes, and I have a prize for whoever gets the most right.
Oh, I'm looking
Yes.
forward to my prize.
Yes. Okay. Question 1. I don't know if we're going to do like a buzzer thing if you want to hit the table. If that
No,
makes
don't
for
hit the
bad
table.
audio.
That makes for
You wanna
terrible fucking
clap-
audio.
Clap behind the table.
Don't make any sound. Raise your goddamn
Just
hand.
say me.
Do
Sure.
it silently.
We'll
Yeah,
snap
yeah.
like a poetry slam.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can raise your
Yeah,
hand.
exactly.
I can
Just
see.
Rita Moreno style.
Okay. Question 1. What is the name of the bar Jessica Rabbit performs at? Chris.
The Ink and Paint Club.
That's correct. 1 point for Chris.
Are you tracking the points?
Yes.
Good. Good girl.
Question 2. What is the name of Eddie's detective agency?
Oh, that's Valiant and Valiant.
That is correct.
Oh, got
1-1.
got you on one.
I'll kill you.
True or false? We see all members of the Big Five in Toontown. Big five being Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy, and Pluto.
False. Well, you said it
Who's
first.
I didn't see Minnie. Was she there?
It is false, but that is not the one who is there.
I didn't see Pluto, is what I said.
Pluto is there as
I
well.
give up.
Wait, in Toontown?
In Toontown.
Oh, we don't see Donald in Toontown.
I guess that's true. I was going with we don't see Pluto, or sorry, we don't see Goofy outside of his short. We don't see
No,
him
I thought he was in the
interacting.
end. He's in the end credits.
Is he?
No, he's in the final scene. It's like, or a mouse, or a dog.
Oh, you are right. Sorry, that's my bad. Chris gets the point because he's right. It is true. They're all five are
Yes!
in there. That is 100% my bad.
Fuckers.
So 2-1. Question 5. What is significant
Wait,
about?
isn't this question 4? It's 2-1. That's 3.
Oh yeah. Okay. I forgot the hard question. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
What did Eddie and Teddy's dad do?
Do you know this, Alec? Okay. He was in the Ringling Brothers Circus.
That is correct.
He was a clown.
Very proud of you. Yes, that is
Yeah.
absolutely correct. 3-1. Okay, question 5. What is significant about the dip ingredients?
Acetone is one of the ingredients.
Acetone, turpentine, benzene.
Yes.
Are they
Good
all...
lord, man.
I've seen this movie a lot.
Yeah.
Are they all... They're all dissolvents. They're all paint thinners, right?
Yes. Yeah. I think I've brought this up on the podcast before. They're the 3 ingredients they would use to clean the animation cells back in the 50s.
Okay.
40s and 50s, yeah.
Yeah. I'm a nerd, Alec. I know these things. So 4-1.
Yes. This is one I was trying to avoid talking about in the notes.
Okay.
One I've also brought up a few times, so you might have a slight advantage on this. Question. Oh, I have 11 questions. Sorry. What was the final rule? What was the final rule for the Warner Brothers agreement concerning Mickey and Bugs?
Was it that Mickey couldn't be on screen any more than Bugs, cumulatively?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay.
Bugs and Mickey had to have the exact same number of lines and the exact same amount of time on screen. The rule is the exact same. The rule is also the same for Donald and Daffy.
Okay.
Which is why all 4 of them are in this. The 2 and 2 are on
Pairs
screen
on the
together.
same- Okay.
So it's just easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's 6-1. Come on, Alec.
Gotta up my Roger Rabbit game here.
Okay. Question 7. How old is Baby Herman?
Oh, he's in his 50s, right? He's got 50-year-old lust and like
That is
an
correct.
8-month-old dinky or whatever the
Yeah,
line
he
is.
He has a 50-year-old lust and a 3-year-old dinky. So yes, he is 50 years old. 5-2. Okay. Question 8. True or false? Despite the director at the beginning of the movie demanding Roger see stars instead of birds, Roger does not see stars at any point in the movie. He does see birds, dizzy lines, smoke, and basically anything else.
What's the what?
True or false? Roger
Does he see stars?
says Roger sees stars at any point in the movie.
At the end he does, right? I thought he saw. Isn't that a line that he says where he says he's seeing stars?
That is true. He does. Yeah, yes. To the answer, the question is false, but you got the answer right. Yes, he does see stars.
Yeah, because the ton of bricks drops on him, and then he sees stars like, oh, stars, ready when you are,
Yeah.
Ro. Yeah.
Yes, because the director. Do you guys know the director's name? Not a question, but just for
Rowell.
it is Raoul.
Yeah. Do you know who played him?
No, but I know the actor. I've seen that actor in other things.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it was Joel Silver. That's who was credited. Joel Silver being the like very famous producer
Okay.
who was a producer on this and also fucking everything ever.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are two. These are the 2 hard ones, and one kind of easy one. What is the name of the Baby Herman short at the beginning of the movie?
Oh, fuck. What's cooking? Something's cooking?
Something's cooking. That's right.
Oh!
So that's 6-3.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because question 10, the easiest one. What animated animal works as the bartender in the Ink and Paint Club?
Does he have?
Oh, it's the octopus.
Yeah, just the species. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, octopus. 4 to 6. Okay. I'll have this one be 4 to 6. 3 points. So you have a chance. 10 point question.
Okay.
Just because I didn't know this one until I was looking up Roger Rabbit trivia. Who is Roger Rabbit's uncle?
Well, he has a prostate problem.
He does, and that just makes this so much funnier.
Peter Rabbit? No. Is it ever said in the movie?
It is said in the movie.
Is it Thumper?
It's Thumper.
I win.
What is it? Thumper?
It is Thumper is his uncle. Yeah.
Where does
My
he say
uncle-
that?
My uncle Thumper has a prostate. No, what's
A prostate. He
No,
says.
he doesn't say prostate, but he says the other word.
Oh
Prosthetic?
no, I had a problem with his probate.
Probate. Yeah, my uncle Thumper
He's-
had a problem with his probate.
Does he say
so
Thumper?
unhappy
He does
he's
say.
lost.
He does.
doubting-
That's what the internet told me.
I'm really doubting you on this. I'm really
Okay,
doubting
that's
you.
Fine. You can doubt me on it.
Not because I want Alec to lose. I want Alec to lose. But because I'm pretty sure he doesn't say Thumper.
I know he says a name.
He's like, my uncle had a problem with his probate.
No, because he says a name in between there. My uncle so and so has a problem with his.
I don't think he does.
I know he says it. I saw it 2 times in the past 72 hours.
I do feel like I shouldn't be
Might need to see it again tonight, just to make
arguing
sure.
arguing
What
on
time is
this
it?
front.
6 o'clock. I can make a third showing.
Okay, fine. I'll concede that he says Thumper.
Okay, so congratulations, Alec.
Victory!
Oh shit! I lost.
You lost. So I know you guys are both big James Bond fans.
So what's the prize?
So hold on, let me make sure you guys.
Is it a martini?
No, there's a pin that I got from Comic-Con. Very rare, very exclusive. James Bond, one of a kind. Chris is very like trying to figure this out. I got to go to a very special panel, and they gave us a very special prize for coming to the panel. And so what you are winning, Alec, is the sidekick from the upcoming Netflix series, The Dragon Prince. This ugly frog slug
Oh, it's
thing.
beautiful. It has this turquoise aquamarine with
Can you explain the James
Pikachu
Bond
yellow.
connection?
There is not one. I just wanted you to feel like.
Oh,
like
you
act-
son
You
of
just
a
wanted to
bitch!
see the look on Chris's face.
Yeah.
Son of
I
a
wanted to
bitch.
get a real prize. I ran out of time, and this was sitting on my desk.
He's kind of got the
okay, Chris,
color
you can-
palette of
Vomit.
no, well yes, but I was say is Blarp, yeah, Blarp from Lost in Space,
Okay. Still haven't watched
the
it.
movie, not the TV
Gotcha.
show. The
I
TV
haven't
show,
seen either.
the TV show is just like a monkey with Spock ears on it.
Okay.
But well, congratulations, Alec, you get the Dragon Prince pin
Well, thank you very
that I
much.
so desperately wanted.
I
Congratulations.
win. Thank you very much. Up
Of
top.
course.
I'm still doubting you on this.
Okay.
Mm.
But that's all the Roger Rabbit fun facts that I have.
I didn't know there was an end to your Roger Rabbit fun facts.
I mean, just for the podcast.
But if you do want to reach out to us and talk to us about how much you love Roger Rabbit, or if you have some other random movie that you want us to cover at some point, which you might find an excuse to do,
Yeah.
you can,
Especially if it's animated.
especially
or
if it's
partially
animated, or partially animated, or James Bond,
Or Space Jam.
or Space Jam. You can find us at Timm Talk Pod on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Gmail. You can find me personally at Lordifer on Instagram and Twitter.
You can find, if you want to see my face, you can find it at CamDexter_Adventures. And if you want to see my art, you can find it at Cameron.Dexter. Oh, and I forgot to bring up, last little point. If you want to see a worse version of Roger Rabbit, watch the movie Cool World, which came out in 1992, starring Brad Pitt. It's an atrocity, but so much fun.
But a timepiece.
It really is.
A serious. Okay.
To give a one-line description of what the movie is, cartoons become human by sleeping with other humans.
Dios mío.
I am now going to go watch this.
Yes.
That is also the plot of a Rick and Morty episode.
Yes.
So, okay, go watch that. Our one bad plug. Go watch Cool World.
Cool World.
And then, Alec, do you have any social medias? Do you have a Twitter or an Instagram or any of those things?
I am not on the internets.
Okay, well then you're
I've got a
irrelevant.
LinkedIn.
So thank you very
If you want to add me on LinkedIn.
yeah. Alec, thank you very much for going and seeing the movie with us and joining
It was
us.
absolutely
and,
my pleasure.
And participating in our weekly shenanigans about nonsensical things.
Yes.
It's always a good time.
It was great fun to join. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
course.
Happy to do it.
Yeah.
And thank all of you for listening.
Yeah, we'll
to-
be back with Batman next week.
Yeah.
Most
Don't,
likely.
don't worry, guys. Next week, I'll go back to doing the bulk of the talking.
If you do the Casablanca one, loop me in for that.
Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah.
He can fill in for me.
Exactly. I'm going to make you watch that.
Or we'll
fucking
make you
movie,
watch
I've seen that
Casablanca.
movie.
I'm going to make you watch it again.
Oh, but it's so long.
How dare you? How dare you? No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Don't kill your co-host. Don't kill your co-host. Okay. I'm good. Thanks, everybody.
Good night and good luck.
See you next week.
Bye.